is the organization committed to Kyrie long term?
Yeah, look, I think that's something we've been discussing, and we will continue to debrief on and discuss throughout this off season. And it's honestly not just Kyrie. I mean, you bring Kyrie up, but we have decisions to make on a variety of different free agents throughout our roster. We haven't had any of those discussions yet, so it'd be unfair for me to comment on how it looks with us and Kyrie, because to be quite frank, he has some decisions to make on his own. So he has to look at what he's going to do with his player option and so forth like that. But I think we know what we're looking for. We're looking for guys that want to come in here, be part of something bigger than themselves, play selfless, play team basketball, and be available. And that goes not only for Kyrie, but for everybody here.
What's going on, guys? It's your boy Lion. I appreciate you all for tuning in. So, Nets GM Sean Marks spoke to the media on Wednesday for the first time since Brooklyn got their ass swept by the Celtics in the first round of the NBA playoffs, right? And when asked if the Nets have considered signing Kyrie Irving to a long-term contract, Marks was non-committal. And this guy, Sean Marks, man, he's pretty good with how he uses his words, right? He went ahead and said that they have decisions to make on a variety of free agents throughout the roster. But you guys heard the reporter's question at the beginning of the video. And Sean Marks' response says Kyrie all over it, right? And Sean Marks is also quoted as saying, "We're looking for guys that want to be part of something bigger than themselves, play team basketball, and be available." Now that's the biggest thing out of his response, availability. And when you think about those words coming out of Sean Marks' mouth, we think about Kyrie Irving. He also goes to say that does not only go for Kyrie Irving, but everybody on the team. He was also asked on how Irving's absence affected the team. And he followed up by saying that it was obvious, and whenever you have a key part of your team that isn't available, you're trying to build chemistry and camaraderie, but it's very difficult when you do not have him on the court, right? Now, we all know that Kyrie missed every Brooklyn home game until March 27 due to his COVID-19 vaccination status. In the 29 games Irving played during the regular season, the Nets notched a 14-15 record. So they were one game under 500 when Kyrie Irving was on the court. Now, he did average 27 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists. And those are all-star caliber player numbers. But what good does it really do if the second best player on the team is in and out of the lineup? I'll tell you what, a first round exit, right? So let's get into this article here from the New York Post that relates to the culture needing to be driven by players who actually would like to be there, right? And it says, for the first several years of Nets general manager Sean Marks' rebuilding process, one couldn't spend 5 minutes in the building without hearing the buzzword culture. In Marks' first comment since the Nets' first round sweep at the hands of Boston, he admitted Wednesday that ballyhooed culture has taken a big hit. Did we take a step back? Without a doubt. The culture isn't what it quite was. It's going to be our job to pick that up, Mark said, between Coach Steve Nash and myself as the leaders of all that. We'll certainly be doing that. But we've got to find the players that'll drive that culture. It has to be driven by players. It can't be driven by one or two people. It's got to be driven by the players. They've got to want it. We've got to find players that have the characteristics that support that. We're just going to be grit, determination, and fight. Finding them this summer is how Marks will earn his pay. At the end of the day, he said, the buck stops here. Marks pushed back on the assertion that the Nets lean too far into the player empowerment of Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, saying it was often misunderstood. But considering not just the playoff sweep, but the internal drama that led to it, it's clear the Nets must add the right grown-ups to their locker room. There's been too much debate, discussion, scuttlebutt, whatever you want to call it, about distractions and about things that are outside of basketball. whereas we'd like to focus on doing the things that got us here in the first place, Mark said. That's focusing on the grit, the resilience, and putting a team together that encompasses that and the borough of Brooklyn can be proud of. It starts with roster construction. It starts with our preparation. It starts with the summertime. We've prided ourselves in the past with finding players with a chip on their shoulder, with the resilience, with something to prove. We're going to have to go back to that. We're going to have to go back to looking more in their development, more at finding the right characteristics of a player that fits here. While Mark said the goal with this roster is still to be the last team standing, he also said he realizes huge contracts doled out to the likes of Durant, Ben Simmons, and presumably Irving will make the rest of the roster a revolving door. There will be players coming on rookie deals and veteran minimums. Our team is going to look vastly different every single year. It has to. If you look at our financials, Mark said, it's going to be a revolving circle down there. We've got the draft right. Our group has shown that we can draft right. Our player development guys have shown they've developed players. The culture is going to always change and tweak as who comes in here. Now, guys, you see it for yourselves. There are going to be some big changes coming to the Brooklyn Nets organization. And it has to start with the guys at the top. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving in particular, holding himself accountable and being available for his teammates. That's just what it comes down to if they seriously would like to compete for a championship. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. As always, subscribe, like the video. Appreciate all the support. As always, you guys will be getting that good daily content from me. But as always, guys, I'll see y'all in the next one.